It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chilliefalls.
Hey, good morning and welcome to the Travel and Cruise Industry Podcast. On this, the 30th day of June, we've shot another one in the leg this month. Last day of June, 2025. Coming to you from my studio in Forest, Virginia, right outside of Lynchburg, Central Virginia area. It's going to be another miserably hot day today, up in the pushing 90. Not as bad as a couple days last week that it was 100 and plus, but it's going to be 90 again. I did run into one slight little problem yesterday, and I'll get on with things after that. I had left my chair on the car when we had company, and when I got back from the doctor's the other day, and I didn't want to, foul up everything that was planned with the company being here and all that business. So I left it on the chair. I mean, on the rack, which I've done numerous times before. So I went to get the chair off the rack and bring it inside. Dead. That chair has never been dead. I brought it inside, pushed it in, plugged it up, left it 5 or 6 hours, went back, it's still dead. So I took the battery out last night and I plugged in the battery outside the chair. We're going to see if that does anything different. But anyway, we'll find out. The problem is my other chair, I've got a second chair, won't go in the grass, which means I can't get to the pool. I went outside yesterday to go to the pool. That's when I found out that the chair didn't recharge. And I can't walk that far, So I got to get the chair working so I can get to the pool while I've got this good weather. Oh well. One major announcement to get out of the way before I get to the business of the day. We have a major special guest coming on Wednesday. I'm actually going to be interviewing her Tuesday afternoon, but it'll be on the show Wednesday. And I'm going to be chatting with maybe the most famous caregiver in the world today. So I'm really looking forward to that and actually getting down to some of the nitty gritty about what caregivers actually do. So looking forward to that. I'm not going to tell you who it is. I'll let you think about that one a little bit. But it should be a really good interview on Wednesday. So, all right, this is June 30th show brought to you by the 2025 World Cruise from Crown Princess by Will U.S., the owner of Scoot Around, and of course by chilliescruises. Excuse me. Wow, a little frog in my throat there. All right, so we do have several stories this morning. We got a bunch of stuff actually today. We've got more itinerary changes for the Crown Princess. We got a weather update for us here in the eastern part of the country for a change. We got a technology outage at American Airlines over the weekend. MSC replaces ships for South America. San Juan finally reopens. Independence of the Seas adjusts 2 cruises. And Disney Dream rescues a father and a child. That and lots more here at 11 o'clock this morning. Today is National Meteor Watch Day. No food today on the list. It's National Meteor Watch. So tonight, go out and look for a shooting star, I guess. This day in history, in 1936, author Margaret Mitchell published Gone with the Wind. Went on to become a movie of the same name. If you're listening via the podcast, you can always access the podcast via my blog, which is accessadventure.net. Starting to get a lot of traction now on the blog. It's getting visits per day or way up. That and the podcast is the other thing. It's just amazing. We're running now close to 2,500 per day on the podcast, which is just outstanding. If you are a podcast person, you can always access it via my blog or wherever you get your podcast from. Just search for travel and cruise industry news and we'll pop up. All right. So we got several things to take a look at this morning. First of all, this is my buddy Fraser, my Scottish friend. He was on an RIB boat off the coast of Norway. I'm thinking RIB, a rib boat. There's not a barbecue thing on it for doing ribs. Rest in B. I don't know. Had no idea what an RIB, but I had to look it up, folks. Sometimes I can be thick as a mule. It's a rigid inflatable boat, high speed. So Fraser was on that. This is from Nate. Nate in Cape Town. This is from Rochelle in Johannesburg. She was in Cape Town and got inland to Johannesburg and did an excursion there. And she got back home last night. And, I'd ask her to send me clips on Messenger that I could use because she had so many clips that I couldn't use. Well, she either did it on the plane flying in or did it when she got home last night. She sent me enough clips. I've got one that we're going to play right now. And then I've got enough for several days just of what she saw on the excursions there in South Africa. Just absolutely amazing. Those are and a couple more penguins. I love penguins. That would be a hippo in the water. Actually, several of them. Now, Rochelle doesn't have fancy cameras and stuff. This is taken with a phone. Hello. That's a center for the Celtics. This is not with a fancy camera. This is taken with her phone. That's how close she was to a lot of these animals too on the safari. Of course, some zebras. Those are vellops, I think they're called. It's like a deer antelope-like critter. And that's a lioness. We'll have some more tomorrow on some lions and what lions do. All right, so that's the first of a batch of clips from Rochelle on a safari in South Africa. I'm hoping, I'd love to get her on the show one day, but that's just not going to happen. But I'm going to try to get a phone call with her while she's home this trip. So anyway, that would be Rochelle Salerno, who has done a ton of traveling this year. All right, so I'll be back with the news portion of today's show after a quick break from one of our fine network sponsors. All right, we're going to start the show off from information from Nate by several other people on the World Cruise on Crown Princess. This is an update on day 28 of the Crown Princess World Cruise for 2025. Back on June 24th, guests on board Crown Princess for her World Cruise learned that inclement weather would be changing up the itinerary while sailing around South Africa. Deciding to wait for more favorable conditions, the 3,090 guest ship added a port call on Durban and pushed back the planned visits to Cape Town and Walvis Bay, Namibia. The stop at Cape Town changed from June 25th to an overnight stay on June 28th and 29th. This meant that the planned call on Walvis Bay then had to be moved from June 28th to July the 1st. However, continued poor weather and the domino effect of making these tweets have now impacted more of the itinerary. The cruise line sent a letter to passengers on June 26th that said, as you are aware, our call dates of Cape Town, South Africa, and Walvis Bay, Namibia, have been amended. After leaving Walvis Bay, we will no longer call on Mindelo, Cape Verde Islands, on Sunday, July the 6th, and will spend that day at sea. Instead of calling on Mindelo, the ship will head toward Santa Cruz de Tenerife, which is replacing a now canceled visit to Gran Canaria in the Canary Islands. Finally, the visit to Morocco has been pushed back one day. Unfortunately, this means that the Princess cruise ship will no longer be able to sail to Gibraltar on July the 12th. The first month of the 2025 World Cruise with our own Nate Valier has been plagued by strong winds and stormy weather. The 4th of July is all about independence, and a new mobility device gives you the freedom to go wherever you want. Shop for scooters, wheelchairs, power chairs, walking aids, and more in our online mobility store and save 12%. This offer is valid until July the 6th. Use SRN 11137, code July 12 to get 12% off statewide. Shop online or call 844-664-7467 for the Scooter Round 4th of July sale. On Friday, when we talked about this, we mentioned that if this system came ashore, it would stay a tropical storm. If it stayed over water, it probably would become a hurricane. Well, it came ashore, so it stayed a tropical storm. It was a named storm. This actually the second named storm in the Atlantic, Andrea was the first last week for about a minute. I mean, it was like no time at all, and it was dissipated. Didn't even make the news. This storm was named Barry, and it's now starting to dissipate over eastern Mexico, but heavy rain is still expected to continue through the day today. It's located about 100 miles northwest of Tampico. Maximum sustained winds are 30 miles an hour. Present movement is to the northwest at 12. Central pressure is rising up to 1,008. The remnants of Barry are expected to produce additional rainfall totals of 3 to 5 inches, with isolated maximum totals of 8 inches across portions of the Mexican state of St. Louis Potosi and Tamaulipas through today. The rainfall may produce life-threatening mudslides, flooding, especially in areas of steep terrain. Additionally, in the little area colored over Florida, it's a frontal boundary expected to stall and weaken off the southeast coast late this week. An area of low pressure could develop from the weakening front by next weekend off the southeast U.S. coast over Florida or over the eastern Gulf. Gradual tropical or subtropical development could occur thereafter as the low moves a little. Formation is not considered anything for the next 48 hours, but a low chance over the next 70 days at 20%. In the Pacific, the sixth named storm of the season, Flossie, is a little stronger. She's about 175 miles south of Zihuatanejo, about 300 miles southeast of Manzanilla. Maximum sustained winds at 50. Present movement is to the northwest at 10 miles an hour. Currently, the pressure is 1,000 millibars and dropping. Maximum sustained winds have increased to near 50 with higher gusts. Steady to rapid strengthening is forecast during the next couple of days, and the system is expected to become a hurricane tonight or Tuesday. Since November 2024, Royal Caribbean's biggest ships have been skipping San Juan because Pier 3 was taken out of commission after MSC Cruises' MSC Meraviglia accidentally damaged its dolphin mooring structure. Earlier in the saga, there were rumors that the repairs and inspections might have been completed as early as January, but this obviously did not happen, and many itineraries had to be changed. On Friday, June 27th, port officials announced the repair work is finally complete and has been approved by the U.S. Coast Guard. Pier 3 is now fully functional and all restrictions have been lifted, which means mega ships can finally return to San Juan. American Airlines Flight Information Computer System experienced an outage this weekend, but the carrier says operations are now slowly returning to normal. The carrier explained that it had been impacted by a technology issue that affected the connectivity for some of its systems. We are working with our partners to fully resolve the issue, the airline said. Though we are experiencing delays as a result, we have not canceled any flights at this time. That would change later. The outage impacted an American Airlines system used to deal with flight bookings, check-ins, ticketing, and baggage tagging. As of 2:30 p.m. Saturday, 21% of the carrier's flights were delayed and 2% were canceled, according to the flight data tracking FlightAware. Sandals Caribbean Sale. Save up to $1,000 plus a free Caribbean adventure at a Sandals Resorts. The best way to see the Caribbean is to explore it. No two islands are the same. Each island has its own rhythms, flavors, and reasons to come back. With our limited time Caribbean sale, you'll unlock a curated adventure that drops you right in the heart of whichever island you choose. That's the Sandals Caribbean sale. Save up to $1,000. Just give us a call today, 434-258-9264. MSC Cruises is changing ships for its 2025-2026 winter season in South America. The MSC Sinfonia is taking over the itineraries that were initially planned for the MSC Lyrica. The company said that the change was due to operational reasons related to the broader deployment of its fleet. I'm not sure what that means. In addition to the MSC Sinfonia, the company's 2025-26 season in South America also includes MSC Seaview, MSC Preziosa, the MSC Harmonia, and the MSC Fantasia. Royal Caribbean International has modified 2 itineraries for Independence of the Seas, attributing the changes to ongoing maintenance that necessitated speed reductions. The first adjustment occurred during the 8-night cruise that departed Hamburg on the 21st of June. The vessel's arrival in Rotterdam was delayed by several hours. Originally scheduled for 11, docking was delayed until approximately 2 p.m. due to enforced speed restrictions. Both the captain and RCI communicated this information via letter to the passengers, noting that all maintenance was being conducted with the utmost care and safety. Subsequently, the planned call at Ålesund, Norway, during the June 29th Norwegian fjord sailings was canceled and replaced by an additional sea day. However, the arrival in Molde was moved earlier by 1 hour to 7 a.m. Guests received notification by email and were assured that safety had not been compromised. All pre-booked Royal Caribbean shore excursions for Ålesund were automatically refunded. Such adjustments underscore the infrequency yet inevitability of propulsion or maintenance issues aboard large cruise vessels. Yesterday, while returning to Fort Lauderdale, the Disney Dream crew responded to a man overboard alert after a child fell from the ship's deck and her father jumped in after her. Deck 4 features a jogging track and plexiglass barriers, but the child somehow went overboard. Her father immediately followed in a heroic attempt to save her. The crew acted within minutes, throwing life rings, launching a rescue boat, and executing emergency procedures. Both the girl and her father were safely brought back to the ship. I got a little problem with that story. I mean, I've walked around a lot of those ships. I have not that particular ship, but I've walked around a lot of ships. Only 2 things could have happened. 1, somebody pitched the girl over, or 2, somebody wasn't paying attention to the child. It's not possible to climb up those sheets of plexiglass and go over the top, especially from a kid. I don't know. I've just got a bad feeling about that story. How's this for a deal of the day? Enjoy the Mexican Riviera on the Carnival Firenze, sailing out of Los Angeles, October the 20th. 6 nights with stops in Cabo San Lucas and Ensenada, $44 per person per day. That's right, folks. 6 nights, $44 per person per day on the Carnival Firenze out of Los Angeles. Give me a call, 434-258-9264. All right, that's going to put an end to the news portion of today's show. That gives us time to go over and see who's fussing at me in the chat room today. I didn't get over here at all during the show today. Gary Older Than Dirt's with us. Good morning, Gary. There's Hot Air Tom. Mike's with us. Good morning, Mike. Gretchen's here out in Ohio. There's Amy. Hi, Amy. She says, happy Monday. Sunny's with us down in Mississippi. She says, hello, Chillie and peoples. Bob's with us. Did I miss Katie? I think I saw Katie. Yes. Katie's with us. Bob's with us. All right. Katie says, hope everyone is doing well. Beautiful beach day here. It's sunny in the mid to high 70s. Yeah, it's a beautiful pool day here in the mid 80s to 90, and I can't get out there. That sucks. I'm going to work on that right after the show. I can promise you that. Gretchen says it's overcast and stormy out there in Ohio. Sorry about that, Gretchen. Nate finally made it. Yeah, isn't that the truth? Finally made it to Cape Town. And I remembered the name of the city. Wow. How can I forget Cape Town? Sometimes you just have a mental block, and when you're my age. Of course, I realize most of you guys aren't anywhere near my age, so you wouldn't know about that. Joanne says, wow, those penguins are cute. Yeah. Just don't try to put one in your suitcase, Joanne. It doesn't do well. Okay, so here's one, folks. We got an ex-person that says, give me a gift card. Yeah, no, that's dead. This is a travel and cruise industry news show. This isn't one for you to sell your wares or to beg for money. Go away. Cindy's with us. Good morning, Sin. How you doing? Roger's here from Jacksonville. Good morning, Roger. Good to see you, Roger. Hope you are well, says Katie. Sonny says, love the name Hurricane Flossie. I like that too. That's one of the more creative names. No children here, now very quiet. No one raiding the fridge. Yeah, well, that happens when the kids are at home with dad. We are close by if you need a refrigerator. Yeah, Hot Air Tom will come raid your fridge in case you got any extra. Joanne says, thank God that child and father were okay. Yes, indeed. Hot Air's asking Katie, how's the vacation? It is said the father sit her on the barrier and she fell over. Why would you sit a child up on the barrier? Lord. Somehow went overboard. I'm seeing multiple sources saying dad had the kid sitting on the railing for a picture. 100% dad's fault and should be reported as such. Tom, I just got a nasty gram from the HOA to paint my fence. Work for food. I don't know. Roger, if you can get anything out of him or not. Katie says vacay is going great. I reminded you about Cape Town, and I'm 73. I got you, Mike. Yeah, you're a young pup, remember? Yeah. How old are you, Chillie? I always forget. I know your birthday, though, just not the year. I'll be 76. Coming up. Damon's with us. Hello, we're headed to D.C. on Friday to visit a longtime friend and hopefully see the Capitol fireworks. Ooh, nice. Very good, Jamin. Hot Air Tom wouldn't mind the gift card either. Yeah, well, I'll tell you just like I told that lady. No. Simple. Wrong channel. Go someplace else to sell your panties or whatever you do to earn gift cards. Did you see the vaccine proof is needed to go to Honduras? Oh, no, I did not see that. They're asking for proof of vaccines now. Wow. Hot Air Tom says he's 75, birthdays in September for 76, and he can play the song 76 trombones all walking down the street. That is correct, Hot Air Tom. I will be 76 just around the corner. Mike says 76. I concede defeat. Yeah, no. The 9th of September, Gretchen says that's correct. Measles vaccine or tests. Oh, really? To go to Honduras? Wow. I had not heard that. Interesting. Thank you so much for that one, Joanne. All right, guys, that's going to put an end to today's show. As always, thank you guys for being here. And as always, guys, smash that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please take this as my invitation to do so. That will help the channel out a lot. Starting to get a little movement again, which is good. In the meantime, guys, don't forget Wednesday will be a huge special guest. I am really looking forward to maybe the most famous caregiver in the world. So that's coming up. All right, guys, that's it for today. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, think about cruising, and hopefully one day soon we'll all get together on the high seas. Have a fabulous day. I'll see everybody Wednesday if I don't see you before then.
I regularly post videos on all facets of the travel and cruise industry. So if you like to keep up with the latest in cruise ships, ports of call, cruises themselves, Chillie chats, and travel and cruise industry news, just hit the little subscribe button in the lower right-hand corner, hit the bell notification so you'll be notified when a new video is up or we go live. This video was produced by Chillie's Cruises.